Just see if it's still occurring. Oh no, it's not. Okay. So there is a spectator only bug at the moment, which clearly is one of the things I've got to fix. Why is it not capturing the background? One asks. It's doing what you would expect pass-through to do, but it's not capturing the background. Settings? Turn off mixed reality, exit settings. Huh. That is an interesting bug that we did not have before. Interesting. Where's my other controller? I need my other controller because Steam. Bugs are entirely your fault, Dazzles. Entirely your fault. So the desktop window, this is an OBS related issue, I think. I think this is OBS related. It's just really interesting to me that it can even do that. OBS. Here we go. Can you give me, oh, why is that controller not responding to, okay, that's weird. That's very, very weird. Properties, capture foreground window, allow transparency, turn that off. Okay, just needed to turn off allow transparency. Okay, we're gonna do this view, which is not as good as our normal spectator view because our spectator code is not working like it should, which this is why it's not a feature that's launched out to everyone yet. It's not rocket science. Return to game. Okay. There we go. So let's go over the changes. So unfortunately the view is going to be super jittery because of not having spectator view on. I apologize for that. But it should actually help you see the changes I've made in some places. Daily, yesterday's was a nonogram. So let's just do yesterday's because this will help show it off. So in these massive nonograms, so one of the things we've done is, I noticed on stream how shaky my hand was, and so we've put a bit more dampening, not on everything, just for some things like the game boards, on the grab and grip stuff. So that should be less intense there. We've also made the tint stronger based on some feedback that someone sent us in. It's also now possible to cancel off on the drag. So you see if I move away from the line, it doesn't do it. Now it like cancels off. So that's easier to cancel off because some people were complaining of getting accidental placements. So that's there. This all is also on the Sudoku mode as well, by the way. It's not just on Nonograms. I'm just showing it on Nonograms because Nonograms has the biggest board. So go 15. And then the other thing to show off that is visible, that is not the Pico work, because the Pico work is unfortunately not showable at the moment, is... Oh, that immediately tells me that is there. Haha! There, cancel there. Yeah, I keep on wondering whether or not I should not do the toggle and then just make the X the A button rather than having it as a toggle. It's one of those that I've gone back and forth on. The main reason I haven't is because of the Logitech pen and some other input devices. It's just a little bit awkward, but I might make it an option. I'm not a huge fan of putting too many options in. Okay, let me show you the other thing. Now this one's going to be harder to show off because we haven't put the sticky UI feedback in yet. But if you notice, you can now go quite far off the cell before it flicks. And this makes working on these 30 by 30s a lot easier because there's like a more gutter logic there. And if you're going quickly, it'll also, if you're going very fast, it'll not do the sticky logic. So you get that accuracy there. So yeah, those are the main changes that we've made. With that, I'm just going to sort of finish this nonogram. As I said, it's only 2 days of development, so I think most of the time we do these updates, it's going to be really, really small stuff. But that's part of the reason I want to do these updates, because as a smaller team, you can kind of get lost in the source sometimes. And having this space where I go, oh, here's what we're working on. If I'm constantly saying, oh, there's no changes that are visible in the game, that's a huge red flag. And so this is a lot of what these updates are about. It's about keeping us as a team accountable, that we're working on the things that are actually visible to players. Because I have had a tendency in the past, you see, it's still a little jittery there, but this is a very big board. Oh, and also if I do, oh shoot, that's something I need to fix. So you see, if I do that and I move off, it still commits it. So I did it for the line, but I haven't yet done it for the cell. So yeah, you see it's a very big board, but you notice the reel also has the dampening in now. So we can actually bring this in. The other thing I've been working on is making the 2 controller input better. So this is where you're holding with one controller and working with the other. Not my preferred way of doing it, because I prefer a much more chill way of working. But I realized from some feedback that some players are actually working like this. I do need to put more analytics in with some stuff like this. But yeah, I don't personally work like this, which is why I didn't really support it. So we get a 3 and then we get a 4. So we have to go from there down to up there. But yeah, if you want to get closer to the board and work like that, especially for like 16 by 16 Sudokus and stuff, it should work out quite well. Notice, by the way, if you're really close with your hand, the dampening does almost nothing. Like the dampening doesn't activate at all. But then if you're quite far with the hand, oh, why is that not? Oh, okay, I know what that is. That's a very small bug in the logic. But if you're further away, you'll notice the dampening is now in effect. So the reason for that is because it just doesn't feel good, at least for me, if the dampening is active when the thing is very close to your hand. So we do distance-based dampening with that. Just because it breaks immersion for me if stuff is damped too close. Again, if we get some feedback on that, we can always change it. I'm noticing another thing with this way of working, when you're zoomed in like this, especially if you're holding 2 controllers, it's very likely that you're going to have an off-screen controller, like your grabbing controller, taking over your hover. So I think what I'm going to do there is I think I'm going to start bringing head direction into the algorithm we use to which cursor to favor. 2 gap, 1 gap, wait, 2 gap, 1 gap, and so I'd have to start from here up to 16. So yeah, I think if I use the head direction in our cursor resolution logic, then the cursor you're looking at is more likely to win. We've got some of the eye tracking code in already. So I'm going to turn down the music because I've heard this music so many times that for me, it's one of the things that's like on my list to do. If I'm playing by myself and I'm not on thing, I'm usually watching a TV show or doing something else while I do these. You know, this is very much designed to be a backgroundy game. It's not meant to be hold your full attention kind of stuff, because that's I want more stuff like that in VR. 4, 3. Okay, so that's a solid line. There we go. I'm so glad that I don't remember setting this one, because as I say, the one we did on... When was it we did the last stream? Not Wednesday because of the eclipse. Tuesday, when we did the last stream, when I remembered the puzzle, it was a real bummer for me, because I was like, oh, damn it, I'm enjoying solving this. And then I remember setting it, and I'm like, damn, I can't fake solve it. It doesn't feel... it just doesn't feel right to like fake solve a puzzle that I remember the solution to. 1, 5, 1. Okay, that's no wins. So we're going to have a 2 and a 3, which means it's a total of 6 in an 8 slot, which means it's got a slop of like 2 cells. Well, that'll tell us that immediately that cell is it. These are ones, ones, ones. Okay, so those can all close off. We've got to have a 3 here somewhere, so that can't be it. There, and then 5. No, 3 and then 6. So we can fit a 6 and a 3 in there. Well, we have to fit a 6 and a 3 in there. So that is a solid line. Close that off. And then we've got 6 in here. No, 7 distance in here. So it's going to have to reach at least there. Okay, no, that's not a winner for us. Well, this is an easy one because we've got that in the middle. Oh yes, there's a good reminder. I am giving a talk at Godot Fest. The PlayStation porting work is ongoing at the moment, though. I am just trying to really focus in and getting Pico out the door. I really want to see if we can get Pico out the door for Gamescom. That is... Oh! Did I miscount? No! I had a logic error, even worse. Oh, that's annoying. I had a logic error. Oh well. Sometimes I wonder... Oh, no, another logic error. For some reason I just missed that those were there. Oh, my phone's ringing. One sec, let me just check my phone. Where is my phone? There it is. Oh, one sec, I'm just going to go... Oh, it went to miss call. Okay, that is something I'm going to have to deal with. That is a very important company call. It doesn't have to be dealt with this exact second, though that is a very important call that I am going to have to get back to. So let's finish off solving this. Here we go. Oh my word. Yes, that is a very important call. I'm a little bit stressed out by that call, but I want to finish solving, because I didn't finish it the other day, and that made me very upset, because then I had to go off and do other things. And I really enjoy firing up this game and playing it. I'll say it is less enjoyable to play it on stream than off stream, because I've got to I can't watch a show and I can't sort of chill out. But, you know, I am trying to do more promotion for the game, because it is not a thing I'm very good at. And so doing these streams and talking about what we're developing is a more natural and easy way for me to get this out there into the world and to sort of talk about it and show it. Right. So this is a 9 and a 6. Okay, cool. So 9, 3, 6. So 9. Okay, so this has to be the 3 or the 9. Can it be? Okay, no. Can that be the... sorry. 9. Okay, it has to be the 3. And if that has to be the 3, we know that 9 there. Okay, we got some nice forcing going on there. That means that has to be 6. I'm not remembering setting this one. I'm trying to remember what picture it could possibly be, but I'm also trying not to remember too hard, because I don't want to ruin it for myself again. Okay, so this is a 1 followed by a 1, which means that has to be a 1. Likewise there. Forcing means those can't be... Oh wait! That is 5, and that is a 5. Oh, that's so good! So 16. Okay, nice. So 16, 1, can't have that, because that'll close to 17. So that. There, and then there's a 2 we're missing, so the 2 goes there, and 1 goes there. Oh, that's so nice. Starting to... I'm not remembering the puzzle, but I'm remembering some of the techniques that I used recently to set some stuff. I say recently, this was set last month. That's the other nice thing. Time is a wonderful thing, because it flushes out your memory. Could this be a 3? No. So it has to be a 2. Yeah, it has to be a 2, which means this has to be a 4. So 2, 4, 2, 3. Which means the last 2's over here somewhere. Okay. That's all good and dandy. 5, 13, 3. How big is this hole? Too big for both, which means the 5's in here. So the 5 is at least that, and it's not that. Ooh, does this 13 fit now? Ooh, can't be there. That's good. I'm liking that. And we know that's that. That's there. Haha! Closed off. Which means that has to be there. Nice. I really like solving these big nonograms. They're very, very calming. I do need to fix the spectator view though. The spectator view being broken is a big boo-boo on my part, because it makes the stream a lot less watchable. I will dive into that after this. 1, 1, 3 could go there, the 1 could go there, and then we'd have another 3 and then a 9. Or both 3's could easily fit into there. Okay, so there's nothing to deduce there. 1, 1, which means one of these is a 5. So either that's there, or that's there. Okay, because that could be a 1. And if that's a 1, well, we know that that's... No! Logic error! I forgot that if the 1 is there, then that's a 2. And then that's a 2. A boo-boo on my part. One of these is a 1. It's so unsatisfying when I make a boo-boo like that, because it's just me rushing. But again, I think it's one of the qualities of doing this on stream versus off stream, is you're just more tendency to go a bit faster. Oh, there we go. Close that off. So the 1 could be pretty much anywhere, to be fair. Oh, no. It has to be there. Because if that... Okay. That means that, which means all these are closed off anyway. Oh, brilliant. That means that's a 2, which means that's a 2, which means that's a 2. Nice. 9 has to go up to there at least, unless that's a 1. Okay. If that goes down to there, okay. So we know that, but the 9 could start there. That is not guaranteed. We're not going to make the same logic error again. This could be either side, to be fair. That could be either side. Oh, how am I not remembering the puzzle? I mean, I'm glad I'm not, because if I remembered the puzzle, I'd be upset, because then I'm like, solving. Okay, can't be that, and can't be those. Fantastic. 1, 2, 7, 6. Okay, that means this has to be a 6, for sure. 2, 3, which means this has to be a 3 because there's no 2s, which means that's closed off there. 1, 2, 1. Okay, yeah, that has to be closed off. This is not closed off, and that is closed off. Okay, so we're missing a 3 and a 1. Pretty sure that's the 1, but I don't have the logic to prove it right now. There's a 9 down here. Oh, this is a tricky one. Oh no, there's something easy I'm forgetting. There's a 13 here that I haven't accounted for. Where's that 13? There it is. That is just an easy... No! I missed the 1. I missed the 1. Oh. I was so focused on the 13, I missed that there was a 1 there. Oh, my score is going to be terrible. Well, so there is, so we have, so this part of the thing, right, is we have in our settings for both Sudoku and Nonograms separately whether or not to immediately show mistakes and also whether to autocomplete blanks. Likewise, with Sudoku, we have separated it out into check solution versus show rule breaks, right? So if you're the kind of person who wants to know if you're on the wrong path, we default it to check solution, so that'll tell you on the wrong path. But some people like to still see errors there. Variant Sudoku is in the works. That is in the works. We have a bunch of stuff going. Minesweeper is the next mode we're delivering. But one of the things I'm very chuffed about is if you go get hint here, right? We actually show you the reason for the hint. Okay? So here it's like using the overlapping placement methods, those cells have to be filled in. And similarly in Sudoku, we show you, oh, this is because it's a swordfish, or because it's a Y-wing, or it's naked doubles, or naked trips, or hidden quads, or whatever. So we have all those in. So it's actually really trivial for us to put variant Sudoku in as a basic concept. But then we actually have an AI solver that we write ourselves. That's not reinforcement learning. That's not like Gen AI thing. Just old school hand-coded No, again, another logic error. It's because I'm not focusing. I'm not focusing. Yeah, no. When we set the puzzles, we tend not to set many Y-wings and such for those reasons. While we do set them occasionally, and the difficulty rating should sort of clue you in as to the most difficult techniques to use, we have a tendency to sort of cap out our normal setting for Sudokus at around hidden quads. That's generally where we cap our Sudoku sets. Occasionally we do go harder though. It is nice to have the occasional challenge. And in the packs that we have, there are definitely some quite tricky ones. That, you know, if I wasn't working with our solver AI, I don't think I would have been able to set very well. But all of our puzzles, including the dailies, are hand set. We don't do any machine generated puzzles. We have a lot of machine assistance in the setter that sort of shows us while we're setting the puzzle how complicated it is, what it thinks the steps it would take to solve it are. And for nonograms, like when we're making the nonogram drawings, we have a whole thing that's sort of estimating stuff and giving us suggestions on like what is the minimum change to your drawing to bring the difficulty up or down or make it a valid puzzle. So we have a lot of helper logic. That has to be a 1, which means this is 12, which only barely fits in there. 1, 1, 1, that means that's a 3. I remember how I set this now. Oh no, that's annoying. I remember how I set this now. Yeah, 1, 2, 1. Yes. This, and then this comes in at 3. And then this brings you up to the 9. Oh no. Fat fingered. That was 100% my fault because I wasn't looking at the number when I let go. Yeah, that brings you up to the 9. And then was one of these a 2? I forget if one of these is a 2. No. Which means it's up here. Okay, so there is on one of these sides is a thing. Okay, and that means that those are all crossed. And yeah, those are all crossed. This is a 3. I remember how I set this now. And then this comes up to 10. But I don't feel too bad because I think if you were solving this yourself, this is the point where I would expect it to cascade for you. I would like the whole design is like once you understand how this has been set, it should have dominoes fall pretty quick for you. Because that's a 2. That's a 9. That's the 2. One of these is a 3. That's the 3 there. There's a 2 and a 2. I just can't. No, it can't fit there, so it has to be there. And I can't remember what side that one is. But I should still work it out from first principles. 2. Oh, there's a 1 in there somewhere. There's 5. Oh, I forget how tricky I made this one. 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 1, 3. 1, 1, 2. Okay. The 5's either side. 7 means that's the full thing, which means there's a 2 that goes in there. 2, 1, 2. That's the 3, which means the 2's there, which means the 5's there, which means we pop the 3 in there. And what are we missing? What are we missing? Boom! Hey! There we go. Oh. Trying to make it smaller so I can remember the... Oh yes, it's the doctor's stethoscope, right? Is that the one? No, this is the... Oof. This is the one problem with Nonograms, is you do try set it really well. It's not the doctor's stethoscope. I can't remember. I don't think I've done a very good job on that drawing there. I think I was so obsessed with setting the puzzle on this one, I didn't make the drawing as clear as it could be. Oh well. But yes, I'll show you very, very quickly the Sudoku clue thing, and then we'll probably look at, let's do a 16 by 16 here, start puzzle. There we go. So this is our Sudoku board. And we have the whole sort of tally counter thing here, which is sort of show you how much is left of a particular thing, help you with pulse highlight. Got all of our penciling stuff in here, so if I just go for ones, so for example there, you know that there, you set that, those come in, those do all those bits. What's the other thing I was showing you? Oh, the hint system. Yeah, if you go get hint, it does make it single, it does all the techniques there and shows you those. Okay, I'm going to get your headset off because it's a little bit hot in here and I've had to turn off the AC because I'm streaming. Ooh. But yeah, if we pop back to our chatting screen for a sec, so I don't have to stress about that. I need to pop some feedback tasks on the list while we're here and while we're all chatting about it. Where's my clock? There's my clock notes. Okay, so yeah, one of the things that we need to do is we need to the spectator view is broken. I need to fix that. Oh yes, more interest in variants. Oh, I'm curious, Dezzles, if you're still here. What are the main variants are you playing? Are you playing Knight's Move variants? Are you playing Line? Are you playing Killer? Are you playing Fog of War? You know, what are the variant rules that you're enjoying at the moment? Because obviously we have a whole list of variants that we're going to bring in. But it's always fun to hear what people's preferred variant rules are. As I say, I do really like Line. I'm a big fan of Knight's Move. No, that's fair. That's fair. I think most people do. The main, as I say, the main challenge with bringing the variants in is actually the hint system, not the actual basic logic. But we will bring them in the near future. It's on the roadmap. But first, we're going to get Minesweeper and Minesweeper 3D and some other bits and bobs in, and get multiplayer in, and the other challenging bits that we need to sort out. Okay, was there anything else that was broken on the stream? Spectator view, we talked about variants. Oh yes, the bug for single placement cancellation on Nonograms. Oh yes, and I also was going to do the eye focus cursor resolution for 2 controllers. Okay, yeah, I got those little bits of feedback in there. And yeah, as I say, 3 times a week we will do our little dev stream update. It's aimed not to be very long. The goal is to primarily just solve a single puzzle, test out the new features, whatever new features we've developed. Okay, one sec, I'm going to have to answer this. Hello, Claire speaking.